The Scott Jennings Show on the Salem Radio Network will return from break in 5 minutes. The Scott Jennings Show on the Salem Radio Network returns from break in 4 minutes and 30 seconds.
Scott, to be clear, you're out in the first segment is 15:45?
No, we're doing the live read, so should it be 16:45?
No, the live read makes the third segment longer.
I know, but am I not doing it in the first segment?
Doesn't matter when you read it; it doesn't change the segment length.
The Scott Jennings Show on the Salem
The clock has been adjusted for the third segment. It's supposed to be in the third segment, so that makes you're out on the C block 46:45.
Okay,
it doesn't change the length on the A block. The A block still the out is the usual one 15:45.
Okay, so then I will do it in the C block then.
Yeah, you can read it wherever. It just the C block was the one that the
well, I don't know. Maybe I can
the
just go
traffic
ahead.
guys changed.
Maybe I can go ahead and do it.
on the Salem Radio Network returns from break in 3 minutes and 30 seconds. The Scott Jennings Show on the Salem Radio Network returns from break in 3 minutes.
So 15:45. All right.
Yeah. And 27:15,
Yep.
46:45, and 56:05.
The Scott Jennings Show on the Salem Radio Network will return from break in 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Just a quick time check, Sean. I've got 2:03, 37, 38, 39, 40.
Yep. Dead on.
Got it.
The Scott Jennings Show on the Salem Radio Network will return from break in 2 minutes. The Scott Jennings Show on the Salem Radio Network will return from break in 1 minute and 30 seconds. The Scott Jennings Show on the Salem Radio Network will return in 1 minute. The Scott Jennings Show on the Salem Radio Network will return from break in 45 seconds. The Scott Jennings Show on the Salem Radio Network will return from break in 30 seconds.
Okay, here we go. Have a good show, everybody.
The Scott Jennings Show on the Salem Radio Network will return from break in 15 seconds. The Scott Jennings Show on the Salem Radio Network will return from break in 5 seconds.
He's not just a conservative voice at CNN. He's the last man standing athwart the leftist mob, delivering the fiery truth, surrounded, outnumbered, still undefeated. Fighting for free speech, Western civilization, and delivering common sense for the American people. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Scott Jennings.
Common sense for the American people. Friday, August the 8th, a full month of the Scott Jennings Show here on Salem Radio. If you ever miss it live, you can pick up the podcast feed on Apple or Spotify. We're streaming this thing every day on the X platform at Scott Jennings KY, also on Facebook, also on YouTube. Good show coming up today. I have redistricting savant Adam Kincaid coming on at 2:22. And at 2:33, my friend, my CNN colleague, and a Second Amendment defender, Shermichael Singleton, is here to discuss his new media platform called We the Free. We'll do a little punditry together. But first, let's get to the news breaking today. A victory for Trump over the radical judges trying to usurp his presidency. The D.C. Court of Appeals has just vacated Judge Boasberg's order that held the Trump administration in criminal contempt for deporting illegals using the Illegal Alien Enemies Act. 2-1 decision. Vindication for Trump on that one. You can cue the meltdowns. This just in. The Department of Justice has opened a grand jury investigation into New York Attorney General Letitia James over her handling of the civil case that she led against President Trump. MSNBC legal analyst Danny Savalos, I know this guy, smart guy, he says James should be very concerned.
There is nothing scarier for a citizen to get a subpoena or find out that they're being investigated by a federal criminal grand jury. It's terrifying, and here's why. Grand jury investigations sweep broadly. They gather terabytes of information, and they're very efficient at going through it. And the problem there for people is that they may be investigating issue number one and then stumble across never before known issue number two when going through all those documents. That is why if somebody is the subject, the target of a grand jury investigation, that is not a good sign. So given that the federal government has such tremendous power to investigate, Letitia James should be very concerned. Not that she necessarily did anything wrong, but because that kind of scrutiny of financial records, of business records, everything going back probably years, might yield something that the government finds interesting.
And on top of that, Attorney General Pam Bondi has authorized a special prosecutor, Ed Martin, we know Ed, to investigate allegations of mortgage fraud involving Letitia James and also Senator Adam Schiff of California. While you slept last night, President Donald Trump followed through, upping federal patrols of Washington, D.C. U.S. Park Police and other agencies now focused on high-traffic tourist areas for at least the next 7 days, all in response to a brutal carjacking attempt against a former White House staffer last week. In the Middle East, the Israeli Security Cabinet has approved Prime Minister Netanyahu's proposal for defeating Hamas, including a plan to take control of Gaza City. The usual international suspects are lining up for Hamas against Israel, places like Germany. Netanyahu says, we're not going to occupy Gaza. We're going to free Gaza from Hamas. It will be demilitarized and a peaceful civilian administration will be established. Bibi says the goal is still to free the 50 hostages being held in the Gaza terror tunnels. New York City opening the world's first homeless shelter exclusively for transgender and gender nonconforming people. Cost of taxpayers here, $65 million. CNN last night, yours truly, debated the issue of why the left is encouraging violent attacks on ICE agents. Right now, the Trump administration is in a recruitment blitz to hire more ICE agents for immigration enforcement. There's lots of money in the big, beautiful bill for hiring ICE agents. My sparring partner last night, Anna Kasparian, a progressive liberal, Take a listen.
I will just say Republicans right now are trying to recruit and give bonuses to people who want to serve in ICE. And Democrats right now and people on the left are encouraging violence against people who want to serve in ICE.
They are? How are they encouraging
and are
violence?
putting them in harm's way every day.
How
So
exactly?
the two parties and how they're treating ICE agents right now, I think Republicans embracing recruitment of ICE and Democrats encouraging maybe violence.
So we're
against
just
ICE.
going to make a declarative
Terrible.
statement like that without providing a single shred of evidence.
You have
How-
not seen the
how
myriad
have
stories of
Democrats-
ICE agents.
Okay, hold
Democrats
on.
every day are calling them the
No, 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 no.
Gestapo.
Hold
Do you
on.
think that helps or
Hold
hurts?
Well, they do act like Gestapo when
Now
they're
you're doing
showing
it.
up.
Now you're doing
well,
it.
they are.
I
If they're
assume-
just showing
I
up
assume you
at-
condone the
in
violence.
Penske trucks.
Do you condone the
at
violence?
Home Depot. Listen,
Because they came out
I don't
with
want my
pictures
tax
does not
dollars
make
going to
them
that garbage,
Gestapo.
okay? Those people do
Enforcement
not
of federal
deserve
law?
to be treated that way simply
Who does?
because
What
they
people?
might be
Do the ICE
undocumented.
agents deserve to be having violent acts committed, rocks thrown at them?
No, they
people
don't.
Trying to
They don't.
kill
And
them?
those people who do that get arrested, and they should be
And
arrested.
why don't
and
they
they're
don't
prosecuted.
get arrested? Because they've been told the ICE agents are
Have you
Gestapo.
considered the fact that in a city like Los Angeles that has a massive immigrant community, when they see their mothers or fathers or family members rounded up, that leads to a lot of rage and they retaliate. I'm not saying they should. That is criminal. They should not assault
sounds
a
like you're
police
condoning
officer.
it.
Let me just tell you something. Someone messes with my family, I get violent. Okay, that's how I feel
Okay.
about family.
Good to know.
I protect family. So don't be surprised when people feel angry when they feel that there's a bunch of feds in their city
There's a violent
invading their
streak. There's a
city.
violent streak.
A lot of violence out there in America, folks. Got to watch out for those violent lefties. All you have to do is Google ICE agents attacked and get all the receipts that you need. Let me tell you something, by the way, and you know this is true. Living with everyday pain is like having a voice in your head that's always saying no. You can't play with your kids or your grandkids. You can't take your daily walk. You can't do the things you want to do. Living with that voice, that's no way to live at all. So what do we do about it? Well, introduce Relief Factor. Get back to life on your terms, a life where you're saying yes a lot more. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that fights pain naturally. It's 100% drug-free. It's developed by doctors, and they use at Relief Factor a unique formula of natural ingredients. Relief Factor doesn't mask the pain for a short time. It helps reduce or even eliminate it. Wherever you have pain, your back, your neck, joints, muscles, Relief Factor can help you like it has helped so many others. My advice, give Relief Factor's 3-week quick start a try. It's just $19.95, less than $1 a day. Go to relieffactor.com. Call 1-800-4RELIEF. That's 1-800-4RELIEF. Say yes to more of everything you want. I'm using it. Members of my family are using it. We like it so far. Try Relief Factor. Breaking news in the fight against drugs. President Trump has signed a directive to the Pentagon allowing for military force against certain Latin American drug cartels that function as terrorist organizations. This, according to the New York Times. President promised to escalate the fight against drug terrorists, and he's doing it. Just in, 6 people involved in that brutal street attack in Cincinnati have been indicted on assault and rioting charges. The victim, Holly, speaking out on Fox News last night about what she saw and how she came to be viciously attacked by the mob.
And when I realized the police weren't going to come, I could hear someone, the man that I jumped in front of, literally crying to God, please God, somebody save me, somebody help me. It was the 3rd time he had been knocked down and kicked in his face over and over. Somebody had told me 57 times. They had counted through all the videos. And I knew that if I didn't jump in, if he had fallen down one more time, he would not have made it out alive.
We'll keep tracking that story out of Cincinnati. More peace in the world this afternoon. The leaders of Azerbaijan and Armenia will be at the White House to sign a peace agreement with President Trump. The two countries are just south of Russia. They've been fighting with each other on and off for decades. You're listening to Common Sense for the American People. It's the Scott Jennings Show on Salem Radio. We have 2 amazing guests coming up in just a few